Dress to Impress is currently one of Roblox's biggest games of all time, and it was only going to get bigger with their Lady Gaga event that was hyped to include an actual in-game meet and greet with Lady Gaga herself. This was supposed to be one of the biggest celebrity collaborations on the platform in Roblox history and had over 500,000 players online waiting to join the experience. So how on earth did this event spiral out of control and turn into an utter disaster, resulting in tweets like this? And who was the one person that caused this all? A community manager that was exposed for rude behavior, destroying the communities of other popular games, and even talking inappropriately with a minor and flying them out to their house. This situation was so crazy that it caused a disastrous response, staff literally resigning, and the game's reputation being absolutely destroyed. So what is going on with this Roblox game? And what's going on with that subscribe button down there? Please click it. To fully understand the situation, we first have to go back to where it all started. Alright, so I'm pretty sure you know what Dress to Impress is. Basically, it's a game where there's a theme like Thrifted, and you have to choose a variety of different items and accessories to match the theme. And after seeing other people's outfits, you can rate them from a scale of 1 to 5. And although this game has only been out for a year, it's become very popular, peaking at over 500,000 players. And because of the massive size of this game, they were even able to get A-list celebrities like Lady Gaga in an event called Lady Gaga's Mayhem. And this video surrounding the Lady Gaga event is what causes the start of this entire controversy. This is B Plays Roblox, who is the community manager for Dress to Impress, and also a Roblox fashion game YouTuber. Now, I did say was the community manager, and that will be important for later, so just keep that in mind. But what was actually so bad about this video? Well, let's watch to find out.
Tomorrow is the biggest update in Dress to Impress history. Here's everything you need to do now to make sure you are available to meet Gaga in tomorrow's update. First things first, make sure you make a gorgeous outfit. There might be some special photo booths inside the event lobby that you might want to take some cute pictures in with your friends, so you'll want to have an outfit already saved for it. Make sure you set an alarm so you can join the game tomorrow at 12:15 p.m. Eastern Time. The live event only happens once, and you get a special badge and a special Gaga hat for participating in the event. You can sign up for the event on the Dress to Impress game page and turn on notifications on my channels, because I will be live streaming the event across all my channels so that you don't miss it.
Alright, so after watching that video, it doesn't really seem like there's anything problematic. I mean, B just says that, you know, a massive update will be dropping where you get to
meet Gaga in tomorrow's update.
But that's actually where the controversy begins. Here we have an entire 71-page Google document documenting this entire situation. This is a Google Doc about the Lady Gaga meet and greet and the results of mods and B, the same community manager, not listening to the community and trying to delete evidence and being disrespectful. First, we had the announcement of the Lady Gaga meet and greet, and they thought that Gaga would be playing Dress to Impress the way many influencers do, which is server hop after a certain amount of rounds. From the video we just watched, we can see that B says do this fast before tomorrow's update if you want to meet Gaga, Lady Gaga, which implies that the average Dress to Impress player might have the chance to meet Gaga if she goes around in different Dress to Impress servers. However, as the meet and greet started, players slowly began realizing that this was not the case. As you can see in this server, this player list includes Lady Gaga herself, along with primarily members of the Dress to Impress team, along with influencers, including B herself, and to some people's dismay, Gigi, the owner of Dress to Impress, who has had her own share of controversies. This is a whole nother crazy topic, so we'll be talking about this later in the video. And while all of this was going down, B was actually live streaming the event in the Lady Gaga server, leading a lot of fans to voice their frustrations in her chat. So of course, B responded in the best way possible.
People just hate fun. It's so miserable.
But as players got more and more angry about this event, B decided to respond. We're sorry if anyone felt misled, but like, did y'all really think Gaga was gonna individually sit down with 500,000 people in one server? B for real. That's on us, I guess, for assuming people would apply basic logic. Everything we posted was pre-approved, and none of us thought anyone would assume they'd get a one-on-one with Gaga. That's literally impossible. We even had a disclaimer, which by the way 2 million people signed up for, so maybe read next time. And no, it wasn't just influencers who got in. We invited 2 influencers plus the 3 outfit contest winners. For context, they ran a Dress to Impress outfit challenge, and whoever had the best outfits, the top 3, would be invited into the server with Lady Gaga herself. The rest were literally devs running the event. Sorry if you didn't catch that, but again, our bad for assuming you had common sense. So as you can probably hear by the tone of this message, it's very passive aggressive and not the best look for a community manager, but she ends it off by saying, yes, this event dragged a little, but sorry, we're not gonna rush Gaga just to keep y'all entertained. Our programmers busted their asses making this work, and I'm proud of them. And of course, as you'd expect, this did nothing to calm the situation. It only got worse from here. In fact, it got so bad that one of their mods, Ender, had to make an announcement saying, hi everyone, how would you guys feel about an organized feedback channel that will be unlocked after each update so anyone can share your thoughts and opinions, negative or positive. This is because the official Dress to Impress server was just getting all their channels flooded with negative comments. I thought this would be a better solution to always sharing your opinions in chat. This way developers can actively review it. Might suggest this, just thought I should ask the actual members. And as you can see by the reactions, a lot of people wanted this, but unfortunately, after Ender proposed this to the Dress to Impress team, turns out that they didn't like it. Ender the mod says, suggested this and the team didn't like it. Also, us mods aren't even supposed to be talking here. Y'all can try changing their mind, but I'm so done at this point. They won't give a F. And as you can see, Ender is like not having it. But once B found this out, she didn't like it very much. She said, at Ender, why do you think this is acceptable to say? Which only amplified the amount of rudeness that she was displaying towards this community. I'm not saying that this was the correct, tone to use. They won't give a f. But as a community manager, one of your skills should be proper communication skills, responding in a polite and professional manner to maintain a safe environment. But because of this, B responds with a more detailed response, saying, we're very sorry for anyone who stated they felt misled. I felt confident we made it clear the event was a Q&A and virtual meet and greet. Perhaps we should have not assumed that it would be obvious to people that we couldn't get 500,000 people all in her server. That's on us, and next time we'll be more clear about that. None of those people, ourselves included, thought people would assume that all of the hundreds of thousands of attendees would personally meet Gaga by themselves in her server. It would be physically impossible. There seems to be a rhetoric that only influencers met her. That isn't true. The admin server was used to actually control the event that was being shown across all servers. We allowed our devs into it because they had to be to run the event. We invited 2 influencers, Lana and Haley, which we were requested to do, and then the 3 winners of the outfit contest, which we did advertise that the winners would be in her server. We agreed the event felt a little bit drawn out and got a little boring, but it's our first time and we had limited time that reduced what we were able to do. We were also obviously not going to rush Gaga to answer faster to make it feel less boring. That would be incredibly inappropriate. Due to the Roblox limitations, we couldn't have had Lady Gaga have a voice interview globally broadcasted through thousands of servers. It's not possible right now. We understand the disconnect we had with a text-only interview, meaning Lady Gaga was just typing in chat and people could just see her message, but that was just out of our hands. We apologize if the text interview became a lot to read. We can't please everyone, that is totally impossible. There will always be some who don't enjoy something, even if it's the best thing we've ever created. That's the nature of being human. As for the snark, no offense was intended. We usually joke around and mess around with our audience, especially in our Discord, and there wasn't any intent to upset anyone or make them feel disregarded. There never is. So according to B, this rude message was just them joking around and messing around with their audience. Even though they say clearly passive aggressive stuff like be for real, maybe read next time, and are bad for assuming you had common sense. But of course, no offense was intended. It was just them messing around, because there never is any intent to upset anyone. Yeah. I apologize for anyone who felt that my comments personally were unfair also. I had no intention to upset anyone and should have been more aware that my stream had reached more than just my core audience who are used to being more blunt and silly. I apologize for that lapse in judgment. And remember, this is in reference to B calling her chat miserable and saying they hate fun.
It's miserable. People just hate fun. Like, you guys just hate fun.
I think that the suggestion that we don't listen to you is quite unfair. We make adjustments all the time for player feedback. In my opinion, we connect and communicate with our players more than most games do. For that reason, I think the implication that we don't care as a team of people who really do care is quite unfair. Claiming we don't take accountability when we have so many times before is quite disappointing. And again, one of the main reasons people were upset with them is that Gigi, a very controversial figure, was present in this event. So when they say that they have taken accountability so many times, it's just quite ironic. As with all things, and as we have many times in the past, we will learn and grow from this and improve going forward. But it seems like B won't be going forward, because this just set off a whole nother chain of events. First off, a staff member named Ski, who had seen Ender, the mod's post, said, at everyone, I want the mods and helpers to cease discussion in the general chats effective immediately for the rest of the day. Moderation solely. No more attempts to redirect. It is only encouraging them further. Let them marinate and get their BS out. It is not helpful and will only make you yourselves and the other staff a further target. And then because mods like Ender were actively trying to reach out to the community and keep an open line of communication, Ski says some staff are failing to follow this instruction. Please, it's very important. And then B follows up by saying failure to follow will result in a strike. Ender especially said B threatened to demote and strike me, and because they couldn't take it anymore, they said this is my resignation. Today was a horrible day and it really showed the truth about the team and the childishness of even the community staff manager. Staff have been talking about each other behind each other's backs. Horrible management, bye. And to back up Ender's claim, here are 2 ex-mods saying, I never publicly spoke spoke about the reason I left the Dress to Impress staff either, but it was also due to very poor management by B and lots of bias. I've been saying Dress to Impress is toxic, and this caused so much outrage that people were even hopping to the voice chats with names like "Bring back the mods please" and "New community manager please." In fact, here's another person saying multiple mods and workers for Dress to Impress have been treated terribly and muted or even banned for speaking the truth. All this is happening while B sits back and does absolutely nothing. It shows not only me, but to multiple others, how much she truly cares about her community. We are only money bags to B and not players. We look up to you and have for a while, and this is how multiple people have been treated. B, if you want to fix what you started, be sincere, but right now it shows that you don't care at all, sitting back and letting us air out our BS. I looked up to you along with others, but you continue to do nothing. So don't respond to anyone, and don't try and fix the problem, but don't expect us to come back and support you again. And the weirdest part is that throughout all of this, B decided to put a positive notes for B chat in her Discord server during this situation, where, you know, people could put positive notes for her. This is just so out of touch. Ender would then go on to make an official announcement saying, "Hello, I'm sure you have heard what has happened. If you don't know who I am Ender, and I was a mod for Dress to Impress for 1 year. Over my year as a mod, I've experienced a lot, including the GG controversy and almost the entirety of the game." Okay, so the GG controversy is absolutely insane. She is allegedly being accused of being racist, homophobic, an exploiter/hacker, rumor doxer, scammer, model leaker, hypocrite, bought inappropriate things from minors, and had an inappropriate server with these people as well, along with a server raider. This is an absolute wombo combo of allegations. So first off, Gigi allegedly owned an 18+ server that had a lot of underaged people. In fact, Gigi herself allegedly was a minor at this time. And if we can see in this server, we can see a flex with some interesting individuals, along with other chats for allegedly nefarious purposes. She was also sending these inappropriate things to people just out of the blue, like at 12:22 p.m. This is literally like lunchtime. Additionally, they alleged that Gigi also stole the idea of Dress to Impress from them. As we know, there are very similar, you know, Roblox fashion games that have a very similar vibe to Dress to Impress. Like here we can see we can also choose our own outfits, and you can also similarly rate their outfit from, you know, 1 to 5. And games like these were made way before Dress to Impress. This one specifically was created in 2016. And here we can see that Gigi seems to actually be working on a runway system for one of these fashion games. But when asked about when they would finish the runway, Gigi said, "So sorry, I started my own project with that system. It has come very far with the development and I can't cancel it. Sorry again, and I hope you all understand." Additionally, Gigi has allegedly been racist towards their own ethnicity, saying disgusting. Apparently they're North African, and they just don't like these people. They say disgusting. This is why. Allegedly, Gigi has also been fired for blackmailing a person they said was racist and problematic, and randomly sent this stuff to a Muslim guy, causing him to be mad. And yeah, in response to this doc, Gigi allegedly said, "You're just a jealous person, and now I know your true colors. The only true thing there is the server, which I had when I was 13 to 14. I deleted it within a day, and it was a mistake. Everything else is lies." So hopefully that catches you up on the Gigi controversy and explains why people were so angry that this controversial figure was in the same server as Lady Gaga. And Ender goes on to reveal even worse information. The developers never cared about feedback. They constantly called their community stupid kids and similar things to that. The handling of controversy is insane. We were not allowed to talk about it or even do anything really. We would normally lock chats and then just go in staff chat and laugh it off. I would constantly suggest reopening chat, but the other mods were busy playing Roblox or not caring. In terms of B, she made a fake announcement and then would go on to talk badly about the community. This shows how she didn't actually care. She just wanted fake accountability to make herself look good. After 1 year of all this unpaid work for developers, I was done dealing with all the backlash because the developers wouldn't care. Okay, not getting paid for this is insane too. This is like volunteer work. Us mods were the ones doing events. We managed chat. We managed a whole magazine, newsletters, all 50,000 tickets, which is about 100 tickets a day, bug reports, player reports, and not for a single dime. The devs would make horrible comments, and we were the ones who had to deal with their immaturity. B made an apology and then went to staff chat to make fun of members. That is the reality of this. After this insane expose, people began diving into B's history, and what they found was absolutely despicable. First off, it was also found out that B was a previous community manager for Royal High, and during this time, B literally harassed and bullied a 14-year-old after misunderstanding a compliment that the young fan said in an unofficial Royal High server. B immediately wrote multiple paragraphs just attacking this 14-year-old, calling them rude, horrible, and a couple names too. The 14-year-old fan basically said B is insane, followed by "I'm in all of her inventory," using the word insane in a good context, like it's the same as saying B is amazing, I'm in all of her inventory. So this was in no way supposed to be an insult to B, and because of this, a couple adults in the server stood up and told B to stop because it was such a clear misunderstanding. But B doubled down and said everyone in the server was toxic, threatening to get any staff members in the server banned from Royal High, and then left the server herself and made a whole video rant about the server. She completely cyberbullied and harassed this poor child. That is an insane crash out, especially considering the fact that B was the Royal High community manager at that time. Writing multiple paragraphs, saying everyone was toxic, threatening to ban people, and then making a video rant is the last thing you'd expect from a community manager of a game. And according to people online, B wasn't exactly, the most liked Royal High staff member. Let me remind everyone that this is not the first time B has been rude to a community and fan base. She literally brought Royal High down and is in the process of doing so with Dress to Impress. I can't even count how many apologies she has made. She will not change and she will not learn. She's always been so aggressive towards anything. Then she plays it off as a joke among her community. Like, be for real. You cannot be rude as a community manager because you're literally the front face of their company. But unfortunately, B isn't just a rude community manager, because on August 25th, we had an alleged urgent update. Take this with a grain of salt. A Tumblr page has surfaced of a 20-year-old B allegedly dating a 16-year-old fan. The user who sent it to me says they were instantly banned in the Dress and Impress server when they brought it up. B, 20 years old, is dating a fan named Logan, 16, and we can confirm this with chats from him saying, I'm 16, I wish I was 18, and I'm in XD. B tried to play this off as a joke. Some jokes that have been made across my Discord/Twitter may have confused you also, so that it is explicitly clear I am not dating anyone. Seriously, Logan is a close friend and our families know each other. Just friends, please calm down. But then B says that Logan actually went to the UK to move in with her, and he fits in very well, smiley face. I've also had the pleasure of getting to know his lovely family too, and my family loves him, so good times. Life's good, me very happy, work life good, big smiles all around. And if it couldn't get any worse, B responds to Logan on Twitter by saying, I wouldn't be where I am without you. I hated so much about myself before I met you. Your confidence inspires me. I love you. And Logan responds by saying, I'm so glad we met and I love you too. B finishes it off by saying, you're the best thing that's ever happened to me. And in this chat, B even confirms this by saying, on an evening, I focus on spending time with my boyfriend and friends and just chilling out. To which this person points out that, oh wow, you have a boyfriend. Congratulations. A boyfriend that is and here we can see Logan literally replying to this with a heart emoji. Here we can see Logan say, I'm so glad I've met you and I can't wait to see you in person. And then B saying some absolutely weird stuff like, here Logan, put your tongue in my mouth. Slurp sounds. Ugh. On top of all this, B also created a new YouTube channel with her and Logan called Naughty Fruitcakes, with this as their channel art. And in one of their videos together, B was caught saying this.
Want to make out now?
Excitement. Oh, yeah.
And if it couldn't get any more incriminating for B, some new information has come out about B plays Roblox and her behavior towards minors. In these conversations, B was around 17 to 19 and the other person was 14 to 15. So some of it is legal, but it's still very weird. Okay, so when this person was 15 and B was 19, B, aka the deleted user now, said, I want to tell you I love you because I do. I think you're kind, incredible, intelligent, and attractive. So what a shame that I smell of piss. That's it, no more compliments for you. This was when I was still 15. Here's another B message. Come visit me. I think it'd be really cool and we could watch Disney and play games just like we said we would. And this 15-year-old says, yes, I'm dead serious. I'd really like that if you would. Me too. Maybe we could look into it for a school holiday. Remember, the person B's messaging is still in school, so we're both off if your parents would let you. Since you'd be coming to me, I'd help pay for travel too, since it benefits us both. Her asking a minor to come over and telling them she'll cover all expenses is so odd. WTF. And because of this entire disaster, B has gone private on Twitter, and the Dress to Impress game has just utterly tanked in like percentage. Here we can see before the controversy, the game was consistently getting more new likes than dislikes, but after, the amount of dislikes have just gone up completely. So because of this, the Dress to Impress staff team decided they had to do something, and they put out a response saying, hi everyone, I like to preface this statement by saying I don't want this to feel corporate or ingenuine. Everything said is coming straight from the heart. After taking the necessary time to properly investigate recent concerns internally, we have determined that the appropriate decision is to let B go from the Dress to Impress team, aka she got fired. We take the allegations very seriously and want to make that clear. I know some of you were expecting an apology or statement from B, but we feel that it's best she addresses everything herself and independently. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like she'll be addressing anything soon. Thank you for being patient while we discuss this internally. We apologize for the misrepresentation of both the Dress to Impress community and any negative remarks that were made. These remarks do not reflect our game, our values, or the respect we hold for our players. We are committed to taking careful action in a constructive objective and transparent way, learning from this experience and ensuring situations like this do not happen again. Your trust and support mean everything to us, and we want to remain dedicated to building a safe, fun, and welcoming community for everyone. We have also heard your concerns regarding inappropriate behavior and internal conflict in the moderation team, and we'll be looking extensively into these concerns in our next steps forward. We're considering revamping the mod team and making the moderation team 18+. The fact that these mods were not 18+ is absolutely insane, because sometimes the stuff they have to see while moderating isn't appropriate for anyone under 18 to see, and we saw this exact same issue with the free draw moderation team. In fact, Ender literally says, another thing I haven't mentioned is uncomfortable topics amongst minors. Most of the staff team were minors, including myself, and they would constantly make inappropriate jokes regarding private body parts, like shaving jokes. This is disgusting behavior considering some staff are 18+ making these jokes with minors. We also understand everyone's frustration with the Lady Gaga event, and we want you all to know that we will be more careful on how we word events like this in the future. We apologize for the misunderstanding, and in the future, if we ever have a similar event, we'll market it as an interview instead of a meet and greet. As of right now, me and Zach will be temporarily stepping in for community manager duties until we find a new suitable hire. Overall, we will make sure that our words have meanings and that we will follow through with our words of action. Thank you for your patience and understanding. They also removed the ski staff member, who is the one responsible for silencing mods like Ender. And when we remember B's inappropriate actions with Logan, a 16-year-old, it just makes the situation so much more disgusting, considering B was literally the community manager of a game with a large child player base. As a community manager, she was literally the face of this game. This is just disgusting. And this situation has led to other people coming out about B, including Logan himself. My experience with B, the former moderator of Dress and Press. I was introduced to B in 2019 at the age of 12. She was a Minecraft YouTuber slash Twitch streamer who hosted UHCs. In Minecraft, these are called ultra hardcore worlds, in which if you die forever and you don't naturally regenerate health. So basically this is a very difficult Minecraft game mode. B got her fame from being a part of UHC, which was an all-female ultra hardcore competition created by Stacy Plays. And here we can see B mentioned in this UHC wiki. It says that she helped host this ultra hardcore server from season 5 to season 8, which this person, Next Level Pink, was an avid fan of. While now I am well aware that I was far too young to be involved in this space, I joined her Discord server in late 2019, where I became heavily involved in the community and made many friends whilst there. I began playing alongside her and joining voice calls with both her and her close circle. This was very exciting for 12-year-old me, as I was in calls with what I thought was an amazing, famous YouTuber, and I thought this was such a cool experience. Soon after, I was invited to be a part of a recorded series for YouTube in which she was the host of. This is where I began noticing her strange behavior and her ability to manipulate others due to her position of power. Due to me being too good for her series, I was quickly shunned and ridiculed by her and her moderation team, for which I was made to feel horrible for playing a game, being 13 at this point. Alright, side tangent, I'm currently reading this book called Surrounded by Narcissists, and it talks about a bunch of different characteristics that these narcissists have. When B ridiculed this person for being too good, this is a direct example of the narcissistic trait of being quick to criticize and judge others. Since a narcissist is already the best at everything and shares this fact freely with anyone they meet, they also know that everyone else is far worse at everything. And as a result of their obvious contempt for everyone else, they can't help but put people down. Basically, putting others down makes narcissists feel better because it makes them feel more important. Attacking people you don't like for some reason, kind of like B attacking this person for being too good for her series, is a particular specialty of narcissists. Additionally, narcissists are highly sensitive to criticism. They feel entitled to criticize and tear others down, but they are far too sensitive to be prepared to listen to what other people think of them. Since they will take criticism as a sign that the world around them is failing to perceive their greatness, they will react quickly, often with forceful, sudden rage, kind of like the rage that B expresses here. And along with that, they will also have a thirst for vengeance. This book is actually really interesting and talks about, a lot of other traits. So if you have close friends or family members that have these traits, it might be worth checking out this book and seeing if they exhibit the same traits as a narcissist. Soon after, she hosted another recorded series with a range of YouTubers called Atlantis UHC. This game had over 100 players and included every friend I had made in her community, excluding me, due to what she had personally called bad behavior. This was when I was made aware of how easily she can belittle others and exclude them from something special. If I was at this age now, I wouldn't bat an eye, but I was 13 and being emotionally manipulated by a 20-year-old, which doesn't sit right with me, and why I'm now talking about it. Following this, I met a group of people who had similar experiences, if not worse. However, after a few months, she met Galaxies. This is Logan, another YouTuber who I'm 90% sure was 16 to 17 at the time. B and Galaxies 18, also known as Logan, began to share a very close relationship, and B would often make uncomfortable comments on live streams about him and made him exclusive from everyone else in the community. And this is allegedly Logan's throwaway account, to which he writes about B plays and links this Google Doc. Hi, my name is Logan. 18, also known as Gulag Again or Galaxy's 18. For most of you that didn't know, I was B's best friend before she moved to mainly creating Roblox content. First off, I want to say that B and I never dated. I joined her Minecraft Discord server on February 18th, 2019. I had actually just turned 18 on that day. She was 20 when I joined. I joined because I was a viewer and I wanted to participate in some of the games she hosted for her community. We got close and I joined our friend group. I never thought our age difference was weird. Both of us liked playing games with each other and she was a content creator I enjoyed watching. Throughout the time we knew each other, she helped me make a channel so I could start making gaming content. She was always very helpful with everything and would drop anything to help me. I felt really lucky that she would take time out of her day to help me. She even edited and make thumbnails for me 80% of the time. Our friend group got closer and closer and we would stay up really late and fall asleep in calls together for a couple of months. I eventually stopped doing that honestly because I just wanted to watch TV and be left alone for a while because I would spend 24/7 on Discord, usually talking to her. I thought nothing of it and I didn't think it was weird because all of us would just chat until we fell asleep. She told me she likes me more than a friend within only a few months of us knowing each other. I was confused as to why she was telling me that, as she is the first person I have told that I was gay. I told her no and I didn't like her like that. We had to have several conversations like this over our entire friendship. I really don't know what our friend group thought about B and I's relationship. She was really good at making it seem like she was best friends with everyone in our group. I recall some of them saying I was ungrateful and rude to her. I absolutely was ungrateful and rude to her and I do not blame them at all for calling me that. We continued to make content together and play games. I was only making money from Twitch and it wasn't much. I was still in school. 90% of the money I got was all from her. She would sub, send bits, and even make fake accounts pretending to be people so it looked like I had a bunch of support. I didn't know about the fake accounts for a long time. She would send me to some of our friends in our friend group at the time. Keep in mind, I was still for example, B says, "Don't fall back to sleep. You'll miss the recording. I'll show you my dick if you wake back up. We'll rub your nips if you wake back up." Ugh, God, that's so gross. Then there's a picture of Logan, and B says, "I know, it makes me go crazy because he's actually like the most attractive man I've ever seen, and I'm not even joking. How does he do that literally? Genetics, man. That jawline was fire though." And B says, "Honestly." And even B's mom is a bit weird. Here we can see them discussing that Logan is American, and their legal age is 18. And B says in Logan's state, it's 16 for consent. So same as here. And this person says, well, fuck it. Here's more weird stuff like when he's bigger than you expected and an image of allegedly Logan when he's way bigger than you can take in the same photo. B also says, also Logan is about to send me a dick pic so I can see if he has scars. And here's some more depraved conversations from B. Am I ridiculous for having a constant fear inside me that Logan will get closer to his cousin? What? Or IRL friends and slowly replace me? I feel so emotional when he's not here, and right now I feel so empty inside, and I know it's really unhealthy for me to feel this way, but I just love him so much. I'm paranoid about him leaving. And the fact that B actually got Logan to move in with her is just absolutely disgusting after reading all this information from Logan. Logan says she knew I wanted more money and she used that to her advantage. She was around me often and I got used to it. I thought the things she said were just funny, stupid stuff most of the time. We were joking around one night and said I wouldn't send a picture. Eventually I sent her the picture and she offered me money. So of course I agreed because I wanted it to be better for my setup for content creation. There were multiple videos/pictures sent and I received thousands of dollars. Holy moly. That is not an over-exaggeration at all. B literally paid thousands of dollars for cheese pizza. That is so wrong on so many levels. The most expensive things I can think of are my Razer laptop, Razer keyboard, Razer mouse, and a plane ticket to the UK. So B literally flew him out as well. That's not including the several hundred subs she sent to me and bits on Twitch. She would also PayPal me money too. I was okay with it at the time, but I definitely regret it now that I'm older and can really see what was happening. When I was 18, I eventually went to the UK and lived with her for almost 5 months. I stopped streaming within 3 months of me being there. When I got there, the entire dynamic changed. Within the first week of me being there, she was already trying to have a relationship with me after I asked her before I left America if she still felt that way, and she said no. I was barely making a payout on Twitch, which was $100 at the time, and lots of my viewers who were supporting me just left because it was B on her fake accounts. There was no need for her to send me money because I was there. That's all she ever wanted. I remember very well her offering me money if she would do some things to me. We did that for a while and I'm embarrassed and ashamed to admit that. She took me on shopping sprees and everything, but it wasn't out of the goodness of her heart. When we would go out to drink, she would always go to the bar and order mine for me. I never thought anything of it just because she would pay for everything, because that's just how it was, but it was also easier that way. I found out after several nights out that she was ordering me doubles. By doubles, I think Logan means more alcohol to get him even more drunk than he normally gets, to do nefarious things to him. I never asked for that. Her family even told her to stop. One night we got really drunk and she kept trying to do do sexual things to me even though I did not want to. When I told her I wanted to come home, it was like pulling teeth to get her to help me. Obviously the pandemic was still a thing and it was making it a little complicated for me to come back. It also didn't help that I refused to tell my family what was going on. I got myself into that mess and I was going to figure it out. For the first time I felt trapped and it was so hard trying to get home because of her. When I got back to America, I tried my best to move on from the last couple of years I wasted, but I couldn't. I eventually messaged her to talk. I didn't want her to talk about everything at the time and I was trying to keep the peace because I never wanted to be on her bad side. I sent her a huge message explaining every single thing I could think about, which took me literal days to type up. Everything that kept me up at night for months. Of course she just apologized and was passive aggressive about it all. She didn't even acknowledge most of the stuff I sent her. I felt like I wasted my time, but I was hoping I would feel better after confronting her. It helped me temporarily. I'm still amazed at how well she is manipulating and gaslighting people to get things she wants. She made me feel absolutely crazy. Because of her, I was severely depressed for a long time. Also, she truly did not like any of her viewers. She constantly talked shit about them and how annoying and stupid they were. She had this perfect image of who she wanted to be seen as, but she fucked up majorly with the dress to impress announcement she made and with some of the other evidence others are sharing. After everything ended, it took me a while to come to terms with everything that happened. I never thought about talking about this because I felt like it didn't matter and I just wanted to ignore it all. She was growing a lot and I didn't want it to look like I was clout chasing. I also just wanted to figure my life out and be left alone. I'm saying all of this now because more people need to know what she's capable of and what she has done. I'm still extremely nervous to put this all out there just because I know how she actually is. I do not want anyone to send threats to her or anything of the sort. I'm hoping I can finally let go of all this now. Dude, this is just so sad to read. The fact that B was able to take advantage of this young kid and then continue to become community managers for multiple Roblox games is just appalling. But I'm glad that Logan was able to finally come out about his situation and show the world the person B truly is. But what actually happened to B Plays after this absolute mess of a situation? Well, allegedly she has wasted no time and has started searching for a new job already. So here we got B, the community manager at Dress to Impress, saying, "Hi everyone, I'm seeking a new role and would appreciate your support. If you could hear of any opportunities or just want to catch up, please send me a message or comment below. I'd love to reconnect. Hashtag open to work." About me and what I'm looking for. I'm looking for community manager / social media / project manager / brand partnership roles. And the reaction to this is kind of comical. Anyone who hires her, I'm immediately telling them about her liking kids. I understand why she's looking for a job since she got fired, but isn't it somewhat foolish to do this right after being exposed? Because the moment someone announces that she's the new community manager of something, people will immediately remember what she did. And that is how one person destroyed arguably one of the biggest games on Roblox with 8 billion visits. So what are your thoughts on the Lady Gaga Dress to Impress situation? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments below and subscribe for more Roblox Explained.